Ulrich Beck's theory of risk society. Ulrich Beck, a German sociologist, is known for his concept of the risk society, a theory that sheds light on how modern society has transformed in response to the many risks that we face in today's world. According to Beck, we no longer live in a world where people primarily worry about natural disasters or wars alone. Instead, we are in a time when risks are often man-made, complex, and global, like environmental pollution, nuclear accidents, climate change, and financial crises. This theory of a risk society describes a world in which we are constantly aware of and responding to these new, widespread dangers. Beck's work helps us to understand how our societies, politics, economies, and even our everyday decisions are shaped by our attempts to handle and respond to these risks. In simpler times, societies focused more on distributing resources and wealth, especially in the years after the Industrial Revolution. But with the rapid growth of technology, industrialization, and globalization, modern life brought with it a host of new threats. While industrialization provided many benefits, it also led to pollution, environmental harm, and industrial accidents. In Beck's view, our society has evolved from being primarily concerned with economic growth to being preoccupied with managing the risks that growth has produced. This shift in focus is what makes today's world a risk society. One major point in Beck's theory is the idea that risk is global, meaning that the consequences of one country's actions can impact people worldwide. For instance, a nuclear disaster in one part of the world can have radiation effects that are felt across the globe. Similarly, carbon emissions from industrial activities in a few countries contribute to climate change, affecting weather patterns and ecosystems everywhere. This interconnectedness makes it difficult to isolate risks to any one place or group. In a risk society, Beck argues that risks do not respect borders, and this means that countries need to cooperate more closely to manage global issues. Another important part of the risk society concept is the role of science and technology. Beck pointed out that science has traditionally been seen as the solution to many of society's problems. We rely on experts to identify problems, give solutions, and make our world safer. However, Beck argues that science and technology often create as many problems as they solve. For example, scientific advancements have given us the ability to generate nuclear energy, which is a powerful source of electricity. But nuclear power also comes with the risk of catastrophic accidents, as seen in disasters like Chernobyl and Fukushima. These incidents make us question if the benefits of such technology are worth the potential dangers. Beck's theory emphasizes that while science can help us understand risks, it cannot completely eliminate them. In fact, science sometimes introduces new risks that we never anticipated. In the risk society, people are more aware of risks than they were in the past, and they demand more transparency and accountability from those in power. For example, people today expect companies and governments to inform them about potential environmental hazards or health risks. This increased demand for accountability means that companies and institutions must work harder to earn public trust. They are expected to be more transparent about their actions and to take measures to reduce any negative impact they might have. This is a shift from previous generations when people placed a lot of trust in experts and were less likely to question authority figures or companies. Beck also discusses how the perception of risk has changed over time. In the past, many risks were seen as unavoidable, like natural disasters or diseases that were out of human control. People accepted these events as part of life. However, in the risk society, most of the threats we face are seen as preventable, meaning we expect someone to take responsibility for managing them. For example, we look to governments to address climate change or to companies to ensure their products are safe. This expectation creates pressure on institutions to manage risks, and when they fail, people often lose trust in them. In a way, Beck's theory suggests that modern society is living in a constant state of anticipation, always trying to predict and prevent the next big crisis. One of the more challenging aspects of the risk society is the feeling of uncertainty it creates. Beck explains that living in a risk society means we are constantly trying to control and minimize risks, but we can never be entirely safe. Because of this, people often feel anxious or uncertain about the future. Even though we have made many advancements, there is always the possibility of unforeseen problems. For example, the COVID-19 pandemic showed us how quickly an unexpected threat can disrupt our lives, regardless of how advanced or prepared we might think we are. This constant state of vigilance can lead to what Beck calls organized irresponsibility, where everyone is responsible for managing risks, but at the same time, no one is fully accountable when things go wrong. Companies might blame governments for not regulating enough, while governments might blame companies for prioritizing profits over safety. In a risk society, there is also a shift in how people see their role in society. Because risks are often caused by human actions, many people feel a personal responsibility to contribute to solutions. For instance, some people choose to reduce their carbon footprint by using public transportation, recycling, or supporting eco-friendly products. This sense of responsibility extends to social and political activism as well. Many individuals and groups advocate for stricter regulations, sustainable practices, and policies that promote the well-being of both people and the environment. Beck's theory highlights that in a risk society, people are not just passive observers but active participants who push for change and accountability. The theory of risk society also impacts how we view progress. In earlier times, progress was mainly about economic growth and technological advancement, and people generally believed that these things would lead to better lives. But in the risk society, there is a more cautious attitude towards progress. While advancements can bring convenience and improve quality of life, they can also introduce new dangers. As a result, people are more likely to question if certain developments are worth the potential risks. For example, while digital technology has revolutionized communication, it has also raised concerns about data privacy and the impact of social media on mental health. Beck's theory invites us to consider whether our pursuit of progress is always beneficial, and encourages us to think critically about the consequences of new developments. Beck's theory is influential because it encourages us to rethink how we view and respond to modern risks. It pushes us to question whether our systems of government, science, and economics are truly equipped to handle the complexities of today's world. In many ways, the risk society theory is a call to action for greater responsibility, awareness, and cooperation. Beck suggests that we cannot rely on old solutions for new problems. Instead, we need innovative approaches to address the unique challenges of the modern world. His ideas remind us that in a globalized world, our actions have far-reaching consequences, and managing risks is not just the job of a few experts but a shared responsibility. Beck's work on risk society helps us understand why so many people today are concerned with issues like climate change, nuclear safety, and public health. These are not just individual problems but collective challenges that require cooperation, transparency, and accountability. In Beck's view, the risk society has the potential to bring people together because we are all affected by these global threats. But it also demands that we remain vigilant, adaptable, and willing to hold each other accountable. By embracing these values, Beck suggests that we can create a safer, more responsible society that is better prepared to face the complexities of the modern world. If you found this explanation helpful, please like and subscribe for more insights into sociology and modern social theories.